Hello everyone and welcome back to Packs and Recreation. And today we are going back to Modern Horizons 3 with a collector I was about to say collector bundle. Retake with a collector booster box. Why is it so difficult to say that? And in case you're thinking, well, it wasn't a retake, you left the old one. That's the joke. So, as usual, we're going to crack this bad boy up, see what we get, and see if it's worth it. Now, are we going to ever beat the previous box that we opened? Nope, I don't think so. It's impossible. I am not even being ironic about it. You know, when you say like, oh, no, I'm not going to get anything, just to try and like tilt your luck in the opposite way. Like, I'm not even interested, bro. And just because you're really interested, so you're saying the opposite thing. It's like, no. I really mean it. We are not going to beat the previous box opening. It's impossible. We just can't. So in case you're curious about why, link here or down below or whatever. Now, let's crack this bad boy up. EVA02 box cutter. There you go. You weren't expecting that reference, huh? So, let's see what waits ahead of us besides a lot of bad financial choices. Collector boosters, playmat, that is also from Modern Horizons 3, thank you for noticing, and let's see what's up. Unfathomable truths in foil, so everything is foil unless otherwise indicated. It's kind of easier to do that with collector boxes. Obstinate Gargoyle, a Skittering Precursor, Hydro Trainer, Mindless Conscription, a Foil Island, and now the fun part begins. A Snow-Covered Wastes, which is great, but I don't know why we're going back to snow. It's not like we're using it for anything. And if there was one plane that could use snow, it was a Drain. But for some reason, Wizards was like, nah. No, thank you. Ooh, Null Elemental Blast. And this thing shines so much that I think that if I hold it in the right angle, you can see my face. Like, it's kind of a mirror. It's blinding how much this thing shines. It's crazy. So, goes to colorless. Let's just put it here, I guess. Ripples of Undeath. I gotta be honest, I read Nipples the first time, which was unsettling. I don't think there is a magic card with nipples in its name, I think. Ooh, Satya Etherflux Genius in foil. Not bad. This way I can replace it for the commander decks. Now, interesting thing. Wait a second. Do you see what I see? What happened here? Like, what? It's not even the same art. Like, he's whiter here, which you can maybe say like, oh, it's because of the printing. He's not whiter, but it's like he doesn't have a beanie, and he has a beanie here. And if you ask me, I prefer him with a ponytail, like 10,000 times more. Is there like a special variant of this, or it's just one of those cases where Wizard was just like, nah, it looks too much like Urza. Change it, and they put him a beanie. I don't like the beanie. Nothing against beanies. If you like those, I mean, enjoy your life. But it just removes all the mysticism. Like, if you look at this guy, it's like, oh, this is a crazy inventor kind of guy. It's like mystic, mage. This guy is just a homie. Like, I don't understand. Like, now I need to look into it. Why Satya has two arts? And you know what? Let's do a time skip. And we're back from the time skip. So basically, there's no explanation for this. I looked into it for quite a while, and there is no explanation. This is officially how the card looks, because he has a beanie. His arm is more normal. Apparently, he's way more jacked in here. And yeah, someone said I was reading in Reddit that this one looks like a modern World of Warcraft NPC, and they're right. Yes, he has a better tan, and he has mustache tips in this one, and I don't know why they put the Beanie. And there's this whole debate about why is there are beanies a thing in Kaladesh? So sorry for the tangent of the video, but like, what the hell? I saw that he had a beanie in the normal art, and I was like, yeah, cool. And then I got the playmat, so I always saw him like this, and he's also like this in the deck box. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's great. And now I see the card, I'm like, oh wait a second, I don't like it. I guess it makes him more steampunk with the beanie, which I guess is the idea. And there was this comment that I will remember forever that says, "Ooh, Emerald Medallion, let's go." That there is only the reason why the beanie doesn't fit is because it makes him one of the less likable types of people in the universe, which is a IPA enjoyer, which is the type of beer, in case you are new to this. And I laughed my ass off to that one, but let's continue. So, Flare of Fortitude, not bad. Party Thrasher, cool. In foil, full art and all that, not bad. And a Servo token that is also a Catwater. So it took us fairly longer than expected, the first booster, mostly because of the beanie controversy. Now, let me know down below, do you prefer Satya with the beanie or without the beanie? Sometimes it just like kind of breaks immersion to have, like, yes, okay, Kaladesh is sort of like an advanced plane, like it's not a mythical creatures kind of plane, like it's not, European fantasy medieval thing. I guess this is one of those cases like, I don't know, Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 7, where it's like, well, 7 is more steampunk, so it's not a great example. But Final Fantasy 6, which is like, oh, you have a bunch of mythical creatures, but you also have robots and stuff like that. So I guess it's, it fits. Abiding Grace from Modern Horizons 2. Not bad. Grim Servant in a very difficult to read style. Estrid's Invocation. Astrid, which if you saw The Office, there is your reference for today. Lazotep Quarry. Not bad. Some desert support. Ooh, Strix Serenade. Cool. Full art. 1 mana for an instant that says, counter target artifact, creature, or planeswalker spell, its controller creates a 2/2 bluebird creature token with flying. And the art is just beautiful. This is in the same set as the guy with the beanie, so... And again, just to be fair... Ooh, White of the Reliquary. Just to be fair, yes, like, I'm spitting some hate towards the beanie. Ooh, Falgi, Titan of Fire's Fury in edge foil, baby! This thing is hot, haha, get it? Because it's on fire. Like, this thing is hot in Commander because of, let's just take the token off the equation, Servo and Blood. And that's what makes this card so expensive. For 1/1 red and 1 white, is a 6/6 Elder Giant creature that says, when Falgi, I'm assuming it's Falgi. Well, no, actually, no, it's not Falgi, it's Flagi, because PH reads like an F, and then there is an L, so it will be Flagi. It doesn't sound very good. It's too close to Fal, but it follows to my taste. But like Felia, like what happened with Felia and Flagi in this thing? I guess it's technically the correct way would be Flagi, but it sounds more epic if you just pronounce like Flage or Flage or something like that. But I digress. So it's another giant that says, when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. So basically you can summon it. It will get sacrificed because it didn't escape, but since it entered the battlefield, you can deal 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. It goes to the battlefield. To the graveyard, and then you can pay the escape cost by exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard, and there you go. So it's an interesting card to play around, and very easy to cheat out for a 6/6. And also you do 3 damage twice, unless I am very wrong, and the second effect never comes into play because the first one resolves on its own, which maybe that's the case. I need to check with the judge. So not bad. In case you're getting nervous, I sleeve them all after the video, okay? I just don't want to sleeve them in the video because the video is already long as it is. Imagine if I just stop to sleeve everything. So, Sitting Landscape, Temperamental Oozewug, which is a Chia pet. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Siege Smash, Accursed Marauder, Volstorm Angel, Breaker of Creation, which is the 001 card, or 0001. Fraction Ironworks Forest in foil. Monstrous Vortex, cool, in retro foil. Then a Modern Horizons 2 card in retro foil with in retro frame with foil. Unholy Heat. For 1 red, deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, which is not bad. And then for Delirium, it deals 6 damage instead if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, which is very good. Genku, Future Shaper, not bad. Not a bad commander. Chittering Dispatcher from the commander decks. This is from the Eldrazi deck. Ooh, the Boogeyman. So, there you go. Nadu, Winged Wisdom. In, how do you call this? It's not display, it's feature art or something. So everyone knows what the Boogeyman does, so I guess I can skip it. Flooded Strand, and if you don't know what the Boogeyman does, just look it up. It's crazy. And for a card that if you look at the first time, you read it the first time, or you're not that versed in Magic, you read it and you're like, oh, it seems cool. But it's like, no. It's crazy powerful. Because of historic spells in Magic, not because of the card itself. So, Roshin, Roaring Prophet, is the prized card here. In foil, in portrait art. When it is a 4/4 that says, when it enters the battlefield, mill 6 cards. You may put a card with X in its mana cost from among them in your hand. You can tap it, reveal any number of cards with X in their mana cost in your hand, add 2 colorless mana. For each revealed this way, spend this mana only on costs that contain X. So, not bad. Phyrexian Germ and a copy. Let's continue. Expanding Ooze, Corrupted Shapeshifter, Twisted Landscape. Well, wait, this is getting out of control. Skoa, Ember Mage, Collective Resistance, Brain Surge, Victimize, which I love this art. I always say the same, but it's true. Island. And now Meltdown in Retrofoil, not bad. Evolution Witness from Modern Horizons 2 in foil retro. Ooh, Falgi again. Or Falgi, I don't know. Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. So again, in foil this time, not edge foil. Cool. So right now we're making some bucks, baby. And Disa the Restless, the commander for Goyfs, for your Goyfs. I prefer to say your Goyf, because if you just say Goyf, it sounds like goofy. It just entered the chat like Goyf. Polluted Delta, not bad, actually very good and in full art. Subtlety, which is something that we don't have. So for 2 and 2 blue, this is a Modern Horizons 2 card in retro frame. It's an elemental incantation creature that is actually a 3/3, and it has Flash Flying, and when Subtlety enters the battlefield, choose up to 1 target creature spell or planeswalker spell. Its owner puts it on the top or bottom of the library, and you can have Evoke, exile a blue card from your hand. Which, okay, not bad. Dress Down, another one from Modern Horizons 2, just reprinted, I guess, in retro frame, in this case in foil. Very shiny blue. Dress Down, 1 and 1 blue. It is an enchantment. It has Flash. When Dress Down enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creature loses all abilities. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Dress Down. Which, you know, it's an enchantment because it targets something and you want it to be there, but it could just be like a Flash instant. So, what wonders are in this booster besides the token for Tamiyo, or the emblem, sorry? Nyxborn Unicorn, Horrific Assault, Thriving Skyclaw, Nyxborn Hydra. Try saying all this very fast, it's very good for your pronunciation. Priest of Titania, Waterlogged Teachings, is multicolor, right? Yep. Plains, and let's see the party start. Accursed Marauder, Tireless Provisioner from Modern Horizons 2, not bad. Yes, I know what you're thinking. You should separate the Modern Horizon 2 cards from the others. I will do it when I sleeve them, don't worry. Wrath of the Skies. Okay, not bad, we already pulled it. Tarmogoyf's Nest from the Tarmogoyf deck. That is not really a Tarmogoyf deck because it's not really, not enough Goyfs. So there is that. Monumental Henge. Every time I see this card, I remember that video from that song from I forgot the name. You know the guys from What Does the Fox Say? Ylvis, I think it was the name. They have a song about Stonehenge. Every time I see this card, I remember that song. It's a very good song. Just watch it. Another Roshin. Sadly, it's not Master Roshi. Roaring Prophet. So another giant shaman to join our collection. This case in retro border that doesn't fit the card, to be honest. It just looks very bad. Ooh, Winter Moon, everyone's favorite card. And full art and foil. Players can't untap more than one non-basic land during their untap steps. So, bam, 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 bam. And you have Winter Moon and you have Winter Orb. If you combine both, we're just going to love you. Phyrexian Germ and Tamiyo, as we saw at the beginning. Drownyard Lurker, cool. Refurbished Familiar, Mandibular Kite, Colossal Dread Mask, Trickster Elk, Charitable Levi, or Levi? No, it has to be Levi, right? Witch Enchanter, Mountain, and let's the party start. Let's party start with Marionette Apprentice, not bad, in retro. Snow Covered Wastes, which is actually very, very difficult to read because of how much the border shines. Not bad. This is just a basic land, and I just realized that we haven't pulled any basic land in normal borders. So I guess this goes here. Crabomination, which is everyone's favorite crab. Crab Demon for 4 and 2 black is a 5/5 and has emerged from Artifact, which is great, and Crabomination enters the battlefield. Your target opponent exiles the top card of their library, a card at random from their graveyard, and a card at random from their hand. You may cast a spell from among cards exiled this way without paying its mana cost. So, everyone loves the crab. Angelic Aberration, which is a very nice design from the Commander decks. Ooh. Herigast Erupting Nullkite, which is a interesting commander for 9 of in any color. It's an Eldrazi Dragon. It's a 6/6 that has emerged for 6 and 2 red, and when you cast this spell, you may exile your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. Flying, and each creature spell you cast has emerged. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost, which is not bad. So it actually goes with artifacts. Ooh, White Orchid Phantom. What an amazing art. Like, look at this baby right here. God damn. So not bad. Ooh, Primal Prayers, another beautiful looking card. Like, what is this? Magic the Gathering? Crazy. Like, I have mixed feelings regarding the bar getting consumed by the trunk here, but then the mana symbol just being on top. Which I guess, I mean, for readability it has to be, but it just looks weird. When Primal Prayers enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy. You may cast creature spells with mana value 3 or less by paying energy rather than paying its mana cost. If you cast a spell this way, you may cast it as though it had flash. Savior of the universe. Bam, bam, bam. We're halfway. Foreboding Landscape. Cool but not crazy. Dog Umbra, which is a great name. Utter Insignificance. Another great name. Squirrel Sentry. Glyph Elemental. It that heralds the end. This card in foil is just beautiful, and the name is just so ominous. I love it. There you go. Wirewood Symbiote, or Symbiote, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Forest. Skoa, Ember Mage. Not bad. Because Pauper also needs commanders. Monstrous Vortex. In foil. Cool. Power Balance. A interesting card to use. Localized Destruction from the commander decks. This is an interesting card from the energy decks. Windswept Heath, which is a pay one, sacrifice, search your library for one or the other, put in the battlefield shuffle, which is actually a very good land. Flare of Malice for 2 and 2 black is an instant that says you may sacrifice a non-token black creature rather than paying this spell's mana cost, which is not bad. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. A very good looking card. Now, if the card is that crazy, that's a different story, because it's Imskir Iron Eater in Edge foil. 5/5 with affinity for artifacts, and when it enters the battlefield, you draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is half the number of artifacts you control, rounded down. For 3 and 1 red, sacrifice an artifact. Imskir deals damage equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value to any target, which is decent, but unless you're running one of those red artifact decks, or like some combination of it because it's red-black, I don't think it's going to be your star commander, but it can be a very interesting one because of its affinity with artifacts. Dream Drinker Vampire, Infernal Captor, Sakura Infernal Captor, either a Spike. I realized that this set, Modern Horizons 3, has a lot of cards like this that are just like beams of stuff, which I don't dislike, mind you. Technically, this is a battle between wizards or mages, right? So the more spells we have like that, the better. Royal Cartographer, Legion Leadership, Swamp, Tune the Narrative, which is a good card for energy decks. Draw a card, you get 2 energy, not bad, it's an instant. Priest of Titania, or Titania, Toxic Deluge, Deluge, but it's Deluge, whatever. For 2 and 1 black, as an additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life. All creatures get -X until the end of turn. Rampant Frogantua, which is on the commander decks. Which one I can't remember. I think it's from the Goif deck, if I recall correctly. Ooh, Jet Medallion. Very nice looking. I had to say one thing. If you go to the Ultra Pro page or something and you buy, they release these deck boxes, you know, the cheap deck boxes from Ultra Pro, the ones that are made of like flimsy plastic. They have ones with this art, from the medallions and from the commanders and some like feature cards. And the medallion cards, some of them look better than others because it's like a stream close-up of the art, right? So like blue medallion looks great, white medallion or pearl medallion or whatever, it looks amazing. And jet medallion was like, it actually looks not very cool. I didn't buy it. When you look at the full art of the card and you realize that it's an eye, that this guy or girl or whatever, it's pulling from their own face. Now this looks badass, but sadly the deck box doesn't reflect this. Ooh, Grist Voracious Larva in full art. This is a commander. Oh, and this is not even the last card. The last card is actually a Eldrazi. Yep, Kozilek, the Broken Reality. Nice. In foil, retro foil. In retro frame foil. And actually kind of blinding, I have to say. Very cool. What number are you, my dear sir? 386, but this is an Eldrazi, so Eldrazi is... Well, technically, I have to go here, I guess. So there you go, Phyrexian Germ and Clue. Very nice looking Clue, because there's a from Tamiyo. And Grist Voracious Larva, it gets its Spark. So has Death Touch. Whenever Grist Voracious Larva or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it enters from the graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, you may pay 1 green. If you do, exile Grist, then return it to the battlefield transform under its owner's control, which becomes... Bam, 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 bam. Grist the Plague Swarm. And a very crazy looking art. Planeswalker Grist. It has 3 loyalty. For +1, create a 1/1 black and green insect creature token, then mill 2 cards, put a death touch counter on the token if a black card was milled this way. -2, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and -6 for each creature card in your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it is a 1/1 black and green insect, which is kind of an interesting commander to play around. So we have 4 to go, and good pull so far. I mean, again, it's never going to be as legendary as the other box for obvious reasons, but we got some badass pulls, I have to say. We may not recover the investment. Investment is a strong word here. But nonetheless, very good cards to play with, and this is what it's all about, right? You may be thinking, well, if it's to play with, just print the proxies or just buy normal boosters, like you don't need the bling bling of the collector ones, and you may be right. I just like shiny things. So Grim Servant in normal, in of course Marauder in foil, Kozilek's command, so we put Kozilek and now its command for X and 2 colorless is a Kindred instant Eldrazi, choose 2. Target player creates X01 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens with sacrifices creature, add 1 colorless. Target player scries X, then draws a card. Exile target creature with mana value X or less, or exile up to X target cards from graveyards, which is actually great. Then Benthic Anomaly, this is from the Eldrazi decks as well. Ooh, a Spotlight card. Felia, X Sovereign Shepherd, which is also very good. Legendary creature Dog, so if you want a dog commander, this is your opportunity. For 1 and 1 white, is a 2/2 that has flash. Whenever Felia, Sovereign Shepherd attacks, exile up to 1 other target on a permanent. At the beginning of the next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Felia. So if you want to blink your own stuff, who is the bestest of boys? Felia, or girls, I guess. I guess it's a girl because it's Felia. So there you go. Ooh, Necrodominance. Let's go. For 3 black is a legendary enchantment that says skip your draw step. So they are already going like, okay, you're not going to draw a card. Like, this is black ambition. Like, you don't draw cards. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay any amount of life. If you do, draw that many cards. Your maximum hand size is 5. So like, see, this is like black at its best. It's like ambition, limitation, ambition, limitation. If a card or token will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So, you know, that level of power. It's just for commander, you know, you may pay an amount of life, so you can pay the life or not, just get all the cards. Ooh, there you go. Another featured portrait card. Arna Kennerlid, which is somewhere in the playmat. There you go. But okay, this one is not changed. I think that the only one that is changed, which is fairly weird, is Satya, which is weird. Flying Lifelink for a 4/4. It costs 2, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black. It has ward, discard a card. Whenever a modified creature you control attacks, double the number of each kind of counter on it. Then, for each non-token permanent attached to it, create a token that's a copy of that permanent attached to the creature. So it's actually very good as a commander. Yeah, well, you have to build around it, but well, don't you have to for anything really, because you have to always build around your commander. So it is what it is. So 3 to go. Inspired Inventor, Rethink Chrysalis, Sage of the Unknowable, Solstice Zealot, Lion Umbra, Path of Annihilation, Bridgeworks Battle, Plains, and let's let the party start. Charitable Levi, or Levi, I guess it's Levi. Strike It Rich is a retro card from Modern Horizons 2. You pay 1 red for a sorcery that says create a treasure token, and then flashback 2 and 1 red. You know, it is what it is. Simple things sometimes just work. Null Drifter for 7 is a Eldrazi elemental that when you cast this spell, draw 2 cards, it has flying, has Annihilator 1, it has Evoke 2 and 1 blue. Okay, Gluttonous Hellkite, another one great card from the commander decks that allows you to build, not around it because you can't make a commander from it, but you can count on it on your dragon deck, for example. This is in the Goyf deck. Power balance, but in this case with full art alternative or full alternative art, I guess. Well, just alternative art because it is what it is. Not bad. Guide of Souls, which is very good for energy decks. Very, very good indeed. Ooh. And Shield Gengar, not related to Fraction Germ and a cat, just to get this out of the way. In Edge Foil, this card looks so badass. Like, this card just looks badass by default because look at that art. That art is sick. That art is like the cover of a heavy metal band. Is that level of crazy. It's an Elder Demon. 6/6. I don't know if this demon is related in any way to, the demons from Liliana. I don't think so. I don't remember their names, so I don't think it's the case. But I don't know, it says Elder Demon, so maybe it is. I don't know, I need to check my lore. But it's sitting on a throne made of angel wings. Like, how badass is that? Look at that, so metal. And then, it's a 6/6 for 3 and 2 black with flying. And then it says, sacrifice another creature, create a blood token. If you sacrifice an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead. And if you pay white or black 3 times, so it can be white or black, and white or black, sacrifice 6 blood tokens, return each creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter. Those creatures are vampires in addition to the other types. She's crazy. You can actually make this your commander, and this can be very badass, but you know how this actually slaps? Because it's a demon, and it needs angels to work. So just do a Kalia deck. I know that everyone hates Kalia of the Vast, but hey, then you can cheat him out. You can cheat all the angels out. That's kind of the play. Let's see. Boosterino numero 2. Two to go, actually. This is the second to last one, which is actually making my life very difficult for some reason. Come on. Come on, bad boy. More or less. Look at this. Like, what sort of booster opening is this? Like, I am such a shame to my kind. Like, what the hell was this? So, Wing It, which is what I just did with the booster. Deem Inferior, which is what I did with the booster. Shattered Landscape, which is what you perceive after I did with the booster. Glimpse the Impossible, which is what it seemed to be the booster. Ethereum Terramancer, I can make a joke with this one. So there goes the chain. Mug Mob, cool. Shrieking Drake, old school magic card, always slaps. A forest, a foil forest. And now, let's see the party. Sling Gang Lieutenant in retro border, not bad. Lion Umbra, not bad as well. Urza's Incubator again. Slaps because it's very useful for tribals. Inversion Behemoth. This is from the Eldrazi Commander deck. Ooh, Kirik, Song of Yawgmoth, or you can also call him Post Malone, the card. So in this case, there are these, as it is in the playmat, which is always great. You know this card and how to read it for you, but this is, I think, the most played mono black commander there is, by the way. Polluted Delta, always useful. One of the better ones because it's Islands and Swamps, the 2 most powerful colors in Commander. Flare of the Nile, in a very shiny way that no one can escape from. And Eldrazi Spawn, that is also a Spellgorger Weird. Now, the last booster. I was like, this is a few boosters, this is going to be fast. It wasn't. Molten Gatekeeper, Drawsclaw, Warp Tusker, Contaminated Landscape, Izzet Generatorium, Or is it? Never gets old. Junk Diver. Strength of the Harvest, Mountain, and the party starts. So, last booster, let's see. Jolted Awake, cool. Nothing to write home about. Sling Gang Lieutenant, which we actually pulled before, so cool. White Orchid Phantom, which is a card that I actually like what it's about, but, because I play white, sue me. But, the other art was just crazy badass. Ooh, Ulalek Fused Atrocity, which, as someone pointed out in a previous comment, in the previous video, in the Commander deck video review, is not as good as you may think. And I stand corrected, because I was one of those people that was like, okay, this looks actually pretty badass. And the reason why, and shout out to, and let me read the name properly, otherwise this may be. So MMA Go Wild, I guess, because it's MMA Go WD. So MMA Gold, I guess. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Sorry if I butchered it. But he points to the fact correctly that it says the Void, the 2/5. You can play around with the colors, which is something that is actually very good for Eldrazi's. But whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you pay 2 colorless. If you do, copy all spells you control, then copy all other activated and trigger abilities you control. You may choose new targets for the copies. And what MMA God says is that the creatures you control, once you put them into the battlefield, they're not spells anymore, they're permanents. And therefore, they stop working. Now, so the way this works is it only really applies to the whatever spell you are casting after Oleg is already in the battlefield, and it copies that spell, because at that moment it's a spell, but all the other creatures in the battlefield are permanents. So you don't copy like everything. It doesn't chain like that. It's not that crazy. So he's actually very right. And at least to me, I was like, oh, okay, because I haven't played with it that much besides the time I tested the Commander decks. So I was like, oh, okay, it seems like, but I never had that opportunity to go like, oh, it multiplies everything and someone to correct me, because I actually never won because of the Commander when I used this deck, but because of the other Eldrazi Smash. So, pam, 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 you know what I mean? I guess this is multicolored, so I guess it needs to go this way. Detective's Phoenix. Interesting card with a very difficult name to pronounce if you are in a rush. Detective's Phoenix. Flare of Cultivation, which is very good in full art and alternate art and yada yada. Sorcery for 1 and 2 green. You may sacrifice a non-token green creature rather than pay the spell mana cost. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards. Reveal those cards. Put 1 on the battlefield tapped and the other in your hand. Then shuffle, 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 shuffle. And the last card is Amphibian Downpour. So, not the craziest note to end this video, but certainly a good card. For 2 and 1 blue, Enchantment Aura, it has Flash, it has Storm, it has Enchanted Creature, and Enchanted Creature loses all abilities, and it's a blue frog creature with basic power and toughness 1, which is something that other Commander players are going to love. And with that, this is the last booster. So, a snake and a Phyrexian Germ. Now, I will normally do the whole, let's pick the prettiest card from each color, but this video was already fairly long, my fault. So, let me know down below what you think about this. Do you like the longer format videos? Do you like the podcast style? I don't know. Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those things that keep the channel running. And I will see you next time on PAX and Recreation. Bye.